Hello friends, tonight we're traveling far from the modern world. No phones, no emails, no deadlines. So settle in, take a second to like the video and subscribe only if you truly vibe with what I do here. And drop a comment telling us where you're watching from and what time it is for you. I love seeing how far this little time machine reaches. Now, dim the lights. As our journey begins, you've just woken up in the artisan's ancient Egyptian village of Deir el-Medina. The good news, you're a respected artisan and craftsperson. The bad news, the gods are closely watching. The artisans and craftspeople. Under the warm Egyptian sun, your workshop hums with the rhythm of focused labor. Inside, you and your fellow artisans gather around worn wooden tables, each of you deeply absorbed in your craft. You have spent years honing your skill in jewelry making, a revered tradition that carries immense cultural significance. For hours, you sit in still concentration, coaxing gold and lapis lazuli into elegant forms. Every piece you shape is more than an ornament. It is a story told in metal and stone, a whisper of belief and identity. You dedicate countless hours to your craft, fully aware that one misstep could undo everything. This is the challenge you accept every day, not only to create beauty, but to honor the profound meanings behind each adornment. How do you express your creativity within the bounds of tradition? How do you keep your inspiration alive under such pressure? These are the questions you face. Enter into your modest workshop, where the air carries the earthy scent of clay and the sharp tang of metal. Raw's light filters through narrow windows, bathing the room in golden warmth. Your table is scattered with materials: vivid turquoise, deep blue lapis lazuli, rich gold, cool silver, all waiting to be transformed. As both a craftsperson and an artist, you feel the weight of tradition in your hands. The pieces you create serve not only as decoration, but as vessels of ceremony, spirituality, and social identity. Your work is demanding, both physically and mentally. Each precise cut, each design decision calls for unwavering attention. As you hammer a piece of gold into the graceful curve of a necklace, you must trust your hands and your instincts. There is no room for error, only the quiet persistence of one who knows their materials intimately. You aren't just shaping metal, you are shaping meaning. You run your fingers over a piece of unworked stone, sensing the potential within it. You've learned to listen to your materials, to understand their subtle messages. A piece of turquoise might call to you, not just for its beauty, but for the protection it offers. Lapis lazuli, with its celestial hue, feels fitting for an offering to the gods. Every choice you make is deliberate, every stone set with purpose. Around you, the sounds of chisels and scraping tools blend into a soft, rhythmic song. You exchange quiet words with fellow artisans, advice, insights, encouragement. You breathe in the sense of your workspace and feel yourself a part of something ancient, something sacred. Each piece you create carries your signature. Like a painter's brushstroke or a sculptor's hand, your style is unmistakably yours. When you inlay a pectoral with mythic scenes or sacred symbols, you're telling a story, your people's story. These treasures speak not just of beauty, but of belief, triumph, and devotion. You master techniques that demand precision and patience. Granulation, where you arrange minuscule gold spheres in intricate patterns. Cloisonné, where you shape compartments to hold stones or enamel in radiant designs. These are not tasks for the unskilled. They are the hallmarks of a master artisan. Of you, and always, your work tells a story. A lotus etched in gold speaks of rebirth. And always, your work tells a story. A lotus etched in gold speaks of rebirth. An ong strung on a fine chain proclaims the promise of life. Your hands do not merely craft, they translate belief into form, making history shimmer beneath the skin. These stories of artistry, captured through stone paint and ingenuity, illuminate a world where skill met legacy and where artisans shaped narratives intended to resonate across centuries. Their silent works speak volumes about a civilization's reverence for its gods, rulers, and the hereafter, grounding them firmly in the annals of history. As we move from the finely carved statues and ever-vibrant tomb murals of our ancestors, we acknowledge the intricacy and devotion artisans like us dedicate to these monumental tasks. It is no small feat to breathe life into stone, to create a world in miniature, or to capture the essence of divinity in the wayward curves of bronze and gold. We find ourselves deeply entrenched in this dynamic kaleidoscope of creation as each day unfolds in our pursuit to sculpt, mold, and craft images that define our civilization. Every dawn, the sunlight bathes the tools we hold sacred. Among the abundance of materials at our disposal are the mighty stones that forever record our skill and imagination. Our laboriously fashioned statues, hewed from gigantic blocks of limestone and granite, speak not only to our artistic prowess, but also to our physical endurance. The sharp blade of the copper chisel is our ally, chipping away at the rock with precision and patience. Guided by the hand of experience, each strike reveals more of the god or pharaoh imprisoned within. Once the shape emerges, fine abrasives transform the rough stone into polished grandeur. Quartz sand, mixed with water, becomes the medium through which the surface comes to life, painstakingly smoothed by our craftsman's diligent hand. Our efforts resonate beyond the physical, harnessing the spiritual essence of those who will dwell eternally within these forms. Clay is more forgiving than stone, yet equally rewarding. As our fingers work the supple material, they conjure vessels and figures, earthy yet divine. This humble material, sent from the rich soils near the Nile, allows limitless expression. Through rotational motions, the potter's wheel teaches us rhythm and symmetry, while subtle strokes and carvings impart the delicacy of detail. Fire, the final arbiter of artistry, strengthens these creations. Kilns are heated by no less than raw's own energy, transforming clay into stark, resilient permanence. In each fired piece, we see echoes of our world, echoes that endure for ages. Our craft often takes us into the divine domain of precious metals. Here, we seek not mere aesthetic, but transcendence. Gold's malleability lets us craft divine images and symbols that hold not just wealth, but sacred value, striking a thin sheet until it becomes an ethereal embodiment of a deity or a pharaoh's power, demands harmony between hand and eye, metal and heat. Intricate patterns etched into surface are the spoke of reverence that binds art and scripture. We embed stones, lapis lazuli, carnelian, that capture both the viewer's eye and the heart of the one who commissions them. The workshop is a hive of activity, alive with the gentle hum of creation. We artisans are not isolated in our toil. We share camaraderie and a collective purpose that binds us. The Artisans' Quarter witnessed our conversations, full of laughter, the sudden hush when inspiration struck, and whispers of wisdom passed from elder to novice. Young artisans learn by doing, their eagerness polishing rough edges until maturity finds them with a steady gaze and steady hands. Our lineage is sculpted by time. As artisans, we understand the indelible mark we leave on society. The finished form, whether stone statue or gold amulet, contains a piece of us, each line and contour etched with our identity. These artifacts not only grace temples and tombs, but bear testament to our lives. In the bonds between nail and surface, tool and material, there's an intimate dialogue with eternity, a declaration of our shared history, entreated to speak long after our whispers have faded. It's not rare to find inspiration while contemplating the dichotomy between reverence for the divine and pragmatism of craftsmanship. Finding the sacred in the mundane remains a gentle reminder of the oneness between man, myth, and material. This is art's higher calling, urging us to contribute to Egypt's grandeur. A day's work often ends in reflection, contemplating the generations whose hearts my own hands touch. Letting go of a piece, whether it is destined for the pharaoh's pyramid or an offering to Ptol, encourages us to accept the impermanence of effort and the permanence of legacy. As the sun dips below the horizon, leaving the world cloaked in twilight, a sense of fulfillment glows within us. Our meticulous endeavors foster the timeless endeavor of sustaining civilization's soul. In the distance, the buzzing workshops of Dar el-Medina call us with whispers of challenges and triumphs yet to come. The pharaoh's patronage enables us to fully commit ourselves and our resources to the projects that command our creativity and dedication. Here, we will continue crafting wonders, acknowledging each piece not only as a representation of a civilization, but as a sliver of personal legacy entrusted to posterity. This anticipation of tomorrow, with its unyielding guidance from the sun and the ceaseless aspirations of the heart, stitches the fabric of our daily life. Our hands may tremble with age someday, but every crease will silently narrate the saga of those who helped sculpt pyramids, dreams, and destinies from stone, clay, and divine gold. Stepping into the bustling workshops of Dar el-Medina, you'll find yourself amidst the rhythms and hum of ancient Egypt's creative core. Before us lies a landscape animated with vibrant activity, where the scent of fresh clay mingles with that of heated stone, and the gleam of precious metals warms in the evening sun. This is where the identity of an artisan finds its true form. Each piece crafted becomes a testament to skill and dedication. Stone and clay, the steadfast muses of sculptors and potters, demand not only strength but finesse. These materials invite a careful dance between force and delicacy, their potential limited only by the artisan's imagination and dexterity. You kneel by your workbench, fingers tracing the contours of a limestone block, already envisioning the deity's visage it will soon embody. The chisel becomes part of you, and with each precise motion, you shape something enduring from the silent stone. Beside you, a fellow artisan molds clay into an intricate relief. Her nimble hands bring Nile River scenes to life, destined to grace a noble's tomb. Her fingers, stained terracotta, glide over the surface with ease, telling stories of abundance and divine protection. You know clay speaks in earthen whispers, each piece a story, each stroke a breath given to stone walls that will witness the journey of the soul. Goldsmiths nearby work their magic with precious metal. You hear the rhythmic chatter of hammer on gold leaf, a language of tradition and innovation. Their practiced hands draw brilliance from metal, fashioning amulets and adornments worthy of royalty and gods. You watch, knowing that each stroke must be flawless. The smallest error could mar the piece or dull its sheen. Alongside you, painters blend mineral pigments into vivid murals. Their palettes bloom with lapis blues and ochre yellows. You've seen how each brushstroke helps craft a larger tale, rituals, harvests, wars, and celebrations captured in color that echoes across generations. This is no mere decoration. This is a symphony of memory and belief, painted onto walls that will outlive the painter. You are part of this ever-flowing river of creation. Here, in the hum of shared effort, you don't just make objects, you craft legacy. At mealtimes, you and your fellow artisans share stories of triumphs and setbacks, talk of family, and the future blends with the satisfaction of perfecting your craft. There is pride in this life, in coaxing art from raw material, in making something that will stand the test of time. Your day may involve engraving a tiny symbol onto gold or shaping a figure from stubborn limestone. Each task requires patience, control, and a deep attunement to your material. You come to know its temperament, its limits, its hidden form, waiting to emerge. What you do isn't just learned, it's inherited. Each technique, a precious note in an ancient symphony passed down through generations. The workshop is a sensory world. The scent of incense, the soft rasp of chisels, the whisper of brush on stone, it surrounds you. Sunlight filters through reed roofing, casting patterns over shards of stone and glittering flecks of gold. Visitors and traders drift in, bringing stories and commissions from distant lands. You work by the sun's arc, your shadow stretching across the earth as hours pass. You pause, wiping sweat from your brow, and look over what you've created. There's a deep, quiet contentment in this transformation from raw, inanimate matter into something meaningful. Under your hands, the material becomes more than itself. It becomes a story, a message, a piece of civilization's unfolding tale. There are quiet moments, too. You glance around at your companions, all lost in focus. Your fingertips wear smooth from stone and clay. Your tools, extensions of your own hands, carry memory and purpose. They fall silent only when the stars begin to gleam. Sometimes you wonder who will see your work in the centuries to come. Will they understand your care, your pride? The thought humbles and connects you to a greater story. Within every chisel mark, brushstroke, and hammer tap is your essence, a message for the future from your hands in the past. When the sun sets, you leave the cradle of creativity, fulfilled, but you return with the dawn, ready to shape the sands of time once more. In this workshop, Deir el Medina, you've found not just a profession, but a purpose. Here, you don't just craft objects, you etch your identity into stone, gold, and clay. You sculpt a civilization's memory. The jewelry you create, one day resting behind museum glass, admired by eyes far removed from your time. You live a life of creativity and purpose. You've contributed not only to beauty, but to the soul of your people. And as today's artists and dreamers look to the past for inspiration, they see your legacy and realize their work too can echo through the ages. As you shape your creations, you're not simply crafting adornments, you're tracing symbolic paths, embedding each piece with echoes of belief and culture. Your jewelry becomes more than decoration. It reflects the soul of your people. With every offering to a deity, every piece buried with the dead, you create something meant to outlast life itself. These are no fleeting beauties. They're messages across time, meant to speak to both the mortal and the divine. Your skills don't end with jewelry. The precision you've honed with gold and stone prepares you for even greater responsibilities, carving statues that reach toward the heavens, painting murals that stretch across tomb walls, meant to last for eternity. Whether your canvas is a ring or a temple wall, your goal remains unchanged: to tell stories that honor the living, the dead, and the gods. Your art, no matter the form, becomes both offering and legacy, an echo of existence rendered immaterial. As you move from wearable beauty to monumental creation, your influence grows. Each bead, each towering colossus, each painted glyph is part of your mission to immortalize the divine within the human and the human within the sacred. This is the essence of your work, an unfolding story as alive today as it was in your first carving. You've given your life to a craft that demands not only creativity but discipline. It may have started with twisting gold into elegant forms and inlaying stones with precision, but now your tools strike stone instead of metal. You're tasked with carving the faces of gods and kings, with giving form to the eternal. The scale is different. Your hands once shaped what could be worn, and now they wrest meaning from granite, but your heart remains grounded in reverence and exactitude. To release a divine figure from stone, you must know more than the tools. You must know the spirit within. A mistake isn't a blemish, it's a scar on the sacred. The form you bring forth must inspire awe, stir the soul, and stand as sentinel for ages to come. Then you turn to the tomb. Here, your hands shift from chisel to brush. You bring lives to color on plastered walls, feasts, harvests, voyages into the afterlife. You grind minerals into brilliant hues, lapis into deep blue, malachite into green, and mix them with oil to create a palette worthy of eternity. Every line, every shade, every figure you paint is chosen with intention. Each symbol becomes a guide for the soul's journey beyond this world. You turn walls into sacred texts. A hunting scene promises eternal provision. A ceremonial procession secures a noble's passage into the afterlife. You begin with sketches in red ochre, reviewed and blessed by scribes and priests. Only then do you paint, carefully measuring, aligning, balancing. These murals are not yours alone. They belong to tradition, to faith, to the one who commissioned them, and to the gods who will one day read them. Whether you sculpt or paint, your work transcends surface. It speaks of power, mortality, and divine order. You elevate everyday scenes into sacred moments. You are not just a maker, you are a guardian of memory, a voice of your time etched in stone and sealed in pigment. Your tools are humble, copper chisels, dolerite pounders, linen brushes, but what you create is anything but. With patience, you draw a noble's gaze from unforgiving granite, or capture divine grace in a painted profile lit by flickering torchlight. You don't just shape objects, you shape emotion, belief, and the very sense of continuity. When sculpting, you begin with a sketch, then a clay model. You study every proportion. Then comes the final test, stone. Granite demands your strength. Limestone rewards your subtlety. In your hands, both come to life. Then comes the final test, stone. Granite demands your strength. Limestone rewards your subtlety. In your hands, both come to life. The symbols you carve into crowns and garments speak volumes. Color brings warmth, spirit, and sanctity to the hardest surfaces. You understand how light moves over a figure, how it can evoke awe or fear. Painting requires equal rigor. You layer plaster, sketch your scene, adjust as needed. Every brushstroke must communicate clearly. You work quickly, but never carelessly. Often, you take a step back, squinting, gauging flow and harmony. The mural must breathe. The symbolism must sing. The story must endure. The stories you shape through stone, pigment, and patient hands reveal a world where your skill meets legacy. Your silent creations speak volumes about your civilization's reverence for the gods, for rulers, for the eternal journey of the soul. In your hands, the sacred and the human find form, and your name becomes part of history. As you walk through halls lined with statues and walls glowing with painted life, you recognize the devotion these works demand. It's no small feat to breathe spirit into stone, to build sacred worlds in miniature, or to shape divinity from metal and clay. And yet, you do. Every day, you rise to sculpt, mold, and craft the images that define your people. Each morning, the rising sun casts light across your tools. Stone stands as your eternal partner, unyielding, immortal. From vast slabs of limestone and granite, you carve not just forms, but stories. The copper chisel in your hand is more than a tool. It is your voice. Strike by strike, you reveal the god or pharaoh locked within, waiting for release. Then you polish. With quartz sand and water, you smooth the stone until it glows with life. You're not just shaping matter, you're awakening spirit. The soul that will inhabit the statue forever begins to breathe beneath your fingertips. Clay, more forgiving than stone, yields quickly to your touch. You press and turn it on the potter's wheel, shaping vessels and figurines from Nile earth. Rhythm and symmetry guide your hands. When the kiln's fire, powered by Rage himself, hardens your work, you feel your momentary gesture turned to permanence. Gold takes you into the sacred. You coax it gently into forms that shimmer with power. You hammer, etch, and inlay with care. Carnelian, turquoise, lapis lazuli, each gem you set carries symbolic force. You're not just making jewelry, you're making conduits between gods and mortals. Your workshop pulses with purpose. You're never alone. Around you, the air hums with concentration, with the murmur of shared wisdom and laughter. You remember your first days, the uncertainty of new hands. Now, those same hands guide others. Time shapes you. Even as you shape your work, each sculpture, each amulet carries a part of your spirit. These pieces guard tombs, adorn temples, and bear the weight of your civilization's soul. With every tool you lift, you engage in a dialogue with eternity, speaking in the language of craft and reverence. Your work exists not just to decorate, but to connect the divine, the daily, the eternal. At day's end, you rest your tools. Whether your creation serves a pharaoh's pyramid or an offering to Putta, you release it with reverence. As twilight settles over the land, you feel quiet pride. You know that your work sustains the soul of your people. In Deir el-Medina, the workshop buzzes with creation. The Pharaoh's commissions give you the tools and time to dream, to dedicate, to bring wonders to life. And in each piece you shape, you leave more than a god's image or a king's likeness. You leave a sliver of yourself. Tomorrow calls. The sun will rise again. Your heart will stir, and once more you'll step forward, your trembling hands still carrying the wonder, the weight, and the power of shaping time itself.